Welcome to week 11. You're getting close to done. Week 11 is a very interesting course of study, probably the most involved assignment-wise that you've had to date, but that this is sort of a summation chapter where you're going to consider all phases of business, specifically dealing with business plans. Let's take a look at the assignments. So you're going to choose one of the 4 business plans provided in the assignment. So you're looking at the assignments in your course. You're going to critique and provide the following recommendations. So you're going to read and analyze the selected plan thoroughly. I would suggest read all the plans and choose the one that's most interesting to you, that you feel that you're most qualified or informed to speak to. And then go through each of these elements. So again, you're going to lay this out as it is here. You're going to have a section where you're going to consider the executive summary, market analysis, marketing and sales, financial projections, operational strategy, risks and mitigations. Now there's a second page as well, a continuation of this, but let's go through these. So the executive summary, clarify. You're going to assess the clarity, the conciseness, effectiveness of the executive summary. Does it capture the essence of the business? This is a judgment call on your part, but use the question to help you organize this very clearly and very plainly. That's half the battle of these analyses, to keep track of what you're doing and to make sure you cover all the questions necessary. Followed by the market analysis. Now this is where you evaluate the research, target audience identification, what's been identified, competitive analysis. So you're going to look at both internal activities, those things that you can control, and external at sort of a strategic level here. So strengths and weaknesses in the plan's understanding of the market. Have they effectively, because all decisions are made based on who the target market is. All business decisions revolve around that. That's a key thing to remember. How do you decide on something? Well, the question to ask is, what would my target market think? So that market analysis then becomes a basis for what you're going to, in the next part of your analysis, which is marketing and sales. You're going to examine marketing and sales strategies outlined in the plan. And do you think they match the market analysis? If so, how? If so, how don't they? So you're going to consider those things very carefully. Then financial projections, which are an outgrowth of the market and marketing and sales sections. And basically, how many are we going to sell? What are our sales goals? What are the financial projections? To include revenue, expenses, profitability, and so on. Now, these are projections. These aren't hard numbers, but do they seem realistic given the market analysis and your marketing mix that you're going to employ? Assess assumptions and the methodologies used. Operational strategy. Do you have the operational to include logistics, supply chain, and resource allocation necessary to get the product in the right place at the right time in the right quantities? The next is risks and mitigations. So identify risks. Do those seem reasonable? And how does the plan intend to mitigate or reduce those risks? So those are the first 6 areas that you're going to want to deal with. Again, use this outline to organize your thoughts very clearly. Let's continue. So this is the written report now. Offer specific evidence-based recommendations for improvement of the plan. Explain how these recommendations would enhance the plan's overall quality and feasibility. So you've got a feasibility and then conclusion. So feasibility, assess the feasibility of the plan's execution in a very general sense here. Now, and discuss whether the plan is realistic and executable, and if not, why? What do you think? And then the conclusions are summarize your critique. So just a quick summary, bullet points would likely do well here. But again, label the sections. Emphasize the importance of a well-structured and viable business plan for success of a startup or business venture. Have they correctly taken advantage of their competitive advantages and the value proposition that the product brings to the market to allow them to compete and win against competitors? And then if you do have citations, or as you have them, use APA 7 edition and follow those guidelines. But organize it the way I've just suggested. Now there's a second part to this. So business plan critique part 2 is a presentation. So you're going to create a concise slide presentation lasting 10 to 15 minutes, and that won't be hard to hit because you have a fair amount of data here. Outline your critique and recommendations. For the presentation component, choose between two options. So number one is record and upload a video using Zoom or Teams. You can use QuickTime if you so desire, but make sure that files don't get too big of your presentation. Or, and this might be easier actually, but it's up to you. Whatever you feel comfortable with, however you feel comfortable using the technology. But include notes on the slides, provided additional details about your content. So, and what they're talking about notes are, it's speaker notes, which is underneath in PowerPoint. And that's perfectly fine too. Again, you're going to want to organize this carefully so the speaker notes match the points on the slide, and that the reader, being me and yourself, don't get lost, and it flows kind of nicely. So put a little effort into this. So again, this week has got a fair amount of work to do, but you should be ready by now to do those kind of things and offer yourself as a consultant, essentially. So enjoy. Look forward to reading these, and if you need help, let me know.